Hello everybody. I hope that you're well. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about the gates within human design. The gates are particularly powerful because they hold our gifts. Now, before I start, something exciting has happened this week and I have gone live with my new website. So you're welcome to go and have a look at effiemoss.com. And the reason I'm so excited is because you now can go to my website and generate your own chart, and you can download it as a PDF. I'm slowly working through creating all of the different videos that you can then link to, that will then be linked from the chart, so you can click all the way through. There are some there at the moment, and hopefully enough to help give you some more information. If you're enjoying these videos, then please comment below and let me know how you're getting on. If you've got any questions, let me know, because I love having conversations in the comments. And lastly, if you'd like to recommend my channel to a friend, or if you want to hit subscribe, I will be forever grateful. So let me now dive into the 64 gates within human design. So the gates within human design are based on the Chinese I Ching. And each gate, numbered from 1 to 64, has a name and also has a variance of meanings. So what do I mean by that? So if you've watched my videos before, then you'll know that I often describe this sliding scale, where one end you have the shadow elements of a variable. So it could be like a gate, a gift. It has got a shadow element, how it's least expressed, right? And then you have the optimal expression of the gate. And the journey of our lifetime is to experience those gifts and be able to almost reach the heights of the optimal expression, so that we are balanced and that we're aligned with our soul design. This video isn't going to go through every single gate, because that would take a very long time, and I'd like to do that separately. But what I wanted to do today was explain and show you how valuable the gifts are. And so we're going to use my chart as an example, and we're going to have a look at the gifts that I hold within my throat center. And the reason I want to have a look at the throat center is because the throat center is our center for communication and manifestation. It's also the center where we explore and look for an understanding, if you have a business, so how you are going to market, your messaging, how you best express yourself. So the throat center is pretty powerful. And the interesting thing is that when you look at a human design chart, basically all of the channels, all of the colored lines are trying to get to the throat center so that it can express itself. So it's a really interesting channel. And so I thought today I would go through my defined gates within my throat center and just explain how powerful it can be. And then, just for fun, I'm also going to flip this on its head, and I'm going to show you how the gates can also be used in a different context. Okay, so before I dive in, let me very quickly share my screen. It literally is a very quick share when she knows how to share her screen. So here we go. So there you go. I hope you can see my chart. So this is my chart. It's all fully branded Effie. So this is the exact chart that you'll see, obviously with your details. And you'll see here's the head, here's the anja. So this is where you have your ideas, where you research your ideas. And this is the throat center. Beyond this, this is the identity center. So this is where love lives, and your self-worth, your self-identity, sorry. This is the will center. That's where your self-worth lives. This is your emotional solar plexus, so your emotions. So often when I'm talking about emotions, I often do this with my finger. It's simply because I'm thinking it's here in the chart. This is your sacral center. So if you are a generator or a manifesting generator, this will be fully colored in. And that means that you have got sustainable life force and workforce energy. So you're able to do. Mine is empty. Mine is open, rather, not empty. I shouldn't say that word. Mine is open, which means that I borrow my energy from those around me. And it means that I haven't got an exhaustible supply, and that I can get very tired very quickly and burn out if I'm not careful. This is the spleen. So you'll see here that mine is defined, and defined is obviously where it's coloured in. And then this is the roots. This is another pressure centre. And you'll see here that mine is white. So just to clarify some language before I move on, where you see it's coloured, and it doesn't matter whether it's pink or the bluey grey, I've just used that as like a branding thing, but where it's pink or it's bluey grey, it's defined, right? This is energy that I hold within myself that enables me to fully experience these centers. And it pretty much means that you're kind of set in that way. It'll be hard to kind of change your mind, I guess, or your views within these areas. Where my centers are white, this is what we call open, or undefined centers. Now, an undefined center is where it's white, but you can see a colored number. And then an open center, if you can see my emotional solar plexus, it's completely white with no colored numbers at all. So that's open. So that means that it's a fully open channel. And with regards to the emotional solar plexus, it means that I'm fully, 100%, a million percent empathetic. And there's lots of lovely explanations that go with that. When your centers are white, it means that you will borrow that energy from other people and you will amplify it. So you are here to gain wisdom in these channels because you'll experience those gifts that those channels can offer you in many, many, many different ways throughout your lifetime. So often with an open emotional solar plexus, people can sometimes feel that they're emotional when actually they're non-emotional. I'm a non-emotional being. Yet this morning, my sister phoned me and said to me, Effie, don't get upset over this thing because I know that you're emotional. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm a non-emotional being. My design is non-emotional, but I come across as being very emotional because I'm always sampling other people's energies and I can literally feel it. Okay. So we are going to talk about this area today, which is my throat area. And we're going to talk about these gifts. And as I go through them, hopefully it will start to paint a bit of a picture. And I've got my notes in front of me because I always try to do these videos as casually as possible, but sometimes I like just to have notes just for reference so that I don't forget anything. So I do have a bit of a forgetful memory sometimes. But you can see within my throat center, I have the number 56 defined, so it's got a little color. I've got the 12 defined, 33 and 31. And you can also see I've got a coloured line, a half coloured line hanging off each of these numbers. They're called hanging gates. And basically my gate 12 is constantly looking for a gate 22 out in the ether to almost complete it. Here, my gate 56 is always looking for somebody with a gate 11 to complete it. And 11 is actually all about ideas. I'm very much around kind of calm. It's all about being very calmful, kind of like gently sort of discussing things with people. And so my 56 is always looking for the 11 so it can complete the channel. And I know when I've met my person, and you know, I don't know their human design chart, but you know when you've met your person, right? You know when there's something about that person that just clicks, and it's often because you've completed that channel. I should explain here that when the line is pink, it's my soul design, okay? So this is what I'm here to experience in my lifetime. And then when the line is grey, it's actually my personality design. So this is what I'm living every day. And, you know, the pink lines really are going to be things that are going to come more and more into fruition for me as I go through my life. Whereas the grey is going to kind of like, it's a theme, right? It's there with me pretty much all the time, but I'm trying to work through things on that wonderful scale. Okay, so in a moment, I'm just going to stop sharing so I can see you all, but I'm just going to talk about these 4 gates just to give you an idea as to the type of picture we can create via a reading or a discussion or something like that to help you understand, you know, the different elements of your chart. Okay, so let's start with gate 56. So gate 56 is the gate of stimulation. I am looking down because people call these so many different names now. So just at a high level, I've got the gate of stimulation in 56, which was there. I've got the gate of caution, which is number 12. I have the gate of privacy, which is 33, and I have the gate 31, which is influence. And I love that gate, and I'll explain why in a moment. But gate 56, so this is a really, really interesting one because this is about helping people to feel something through the art of storytelling. And if you have watched my videos, you'll notice that I tend to share things about my family through an event that's happened, a story, an analogy, a metaphor, and that is gate 56, right? It's being able to invoke a reaction, a feeling in somebody by sharing wisdom that I have gained through my stories and using those stories, that act of storytelling, to be able to bring what I'm saying to life. So that is gate 56, right? Now, if I put that with my gate 12, which is the gate of caution, this one is all about feelings, right? But it's also about going inwards and making sure that I am clear on what I want to say before I say it. And this is so true because I have sat on human design for 3.5 years. And last year, I spent the year doing my certification. Now, can you see gate 56 kicking in, by the way? Here it is, right? And so when I was going through all of that learning and all of, I should show you some of the books. Maybe I'll do a video on all of my books and my paperwork and everything that I've got. But I was literally trying to process it, trying to integrate it, trying to work out how I can say what I want to say and feel comfortable in the knowledge of what I have and its application in day-to-day life. So I have clarity in the way that I'm going to share it, right? And hopefully I do that in a way that's, enjoyable for you to listen to, that enables you to connect with what I'm saying. And so that is my gate 12, right? It's the ability to be authentic. It's the ability to speak clearly, to understand what, and be sure of myself before I'm going to say something. Younger Effie would have just gone and tried to figure it out as I was talking. And I used to get so confused because I would say something and people would take the words literally and I'd be sitting there thinking, that's not what I meant. And it's simply because I didn't have the clarity that I now have in choosing my words more carefully because I know that they can be impactful when I deliver them. So I have my gate 56 here, which is all about stories, as you're hearing, as I'm sharing. And then my gate 12, which is all about clarity in my communication, right? We then have the gate 33, which is the gate of privacy. And this is where it's about me going within so that I can understand my life lessons and the experiences that I've had. And I do this. If you knew me on a personal level, you'll know that if I hit a bump, I tend to retreat. If something is making me uncomfortable, I will retreat. When I was on Dragon's Den, after Dragon's Den, and my business had a bit of a bumpy spell because we had such an influx of everybody hitting the business, I retreated. Like nobody could get hold of me. And I wasn't hiding. I was taking the time to kind of almost put everything back together again to realign so that when I stepped back out, I had clarity in how I wanted to communicate and what I wanted to share. And I understood the experiences and the wisdom that I had gleaned from those experiences so that I would naturally be able to create those stories and be able to connect with people through feeling. So you can see now how my gate 33 underpins my gate 56 of like storytelling and sharing, and my gate 12, which is all about clarity and being authentic. And then my other gate that is defined is gate 31, which I love. And it's called the gate of influence, but I don't love it for that reason. Gate 31 is all about influential energy, but it's about democratic leadership. So if there is somebody in a group, in a community that I am with, and something needs to be said, you can bet your bottom dollar that I'm the person who sticks their head above the parapet and will share. I'm the voice of the community. I will always be the voice of my teams. I will always be the person that will step forward if something needs resolving. And if you have been in my team, been part of my teams, or I have been lucky enough to work with you, you will know that about me. You will know that I love, love, love growing and building teams. But more than anything, I love supporting my teams. And sometimes that means I have to step forward and be the voice of my teams, which can also be like, the shadow side of that can also be almost like stepping in when you're not wanted, stepping in and maybe overstepping, it not being democratic and sort of pushing forward. But it's really important to understand that this particular gate is all about democratic leadership, which means you are genuinely voted in, willingly or unwillingly, by the people that you are with. Okay. The other thing I wanted to also explain is that when I look at my chart, these gates appear in certain profile lines within my chart. So whilst what I have shared with you is the true essence of the gifts, how I learn and express it will depend very much on those profile lines. So firstly, I hope that you can see how the gift of storytelling with 56 helps me with my communication and the way that I teach and I coach and I share and all those wonderful things. You'll see hopefully that gate 12 for me is all about clarity and being authentic. And you'll notice that occasionally when I speak, if I stumble on my words, and I will pause, I'll think about it and then I'll loop back round. And I also have filler words. I have filler words, which I'm very aware of, which I'm not going to tell you, because if I tell you, you'll start hearing them all the time if you haven't already. But that helps me with the clarity and with the authenticity. And then you can also then see that, well, you won't necessarily be able to see my gate 33 active, but it's like an exercise that I go through in order to be able to create those stories and to be able to have the clarity of what I'm saying. And interestingly enough, the gate 31 is really interesting for me because I have the channel of surrender. So my 44 connects to my gates 26. And that's very much around, that's the entrepreneur channel, right? But it's also about sales and marketing and community. And anybody who knows me will know that I love community. I've been building communities for forever. I actually had a job early on in my career, that was like 20 odd years ago, where I looked after, you know, those old forums, and remember the old forums? You know, and now I think back, I think, gosh, they were my like baby steps into creating and building community. And I can talk about community all the time, a lot, and building business and marketing and sales, because they're my strengths. But I'm able to do that through these gifts that are offered to me in my throat center. In terms of my profile lines, I did want to share a couple of things. So the gate 56, where it's all about sharing stories and connecting with people and helping them to feel, you may be interested to know that this has turned up in my Mars placement. And Mars is all about my youth experiences. The reason that is interesting is because it's also showing up in my line 3. And if you've seen the profile video, you'll know that line 3 is all about experimenting, which makes complete sense, right? I need to be able to have gone and experimented and tried different things in my youth, so I can harness those experience and that wisdom to be able to create the stories that I'm able to deliver via my gate 56 when I'm communicating. I found that absolutely fascinating when I realized that. My line 12, which is all about the clarity in what I'm saying, being authentic, communicating like with feeling, with passion, with excitement, right? That actually shows up in my line 5 and in my Jupiter. And Jupiter is all about my blessings. It's all about your abundance. And my line 5 is your teacher energy. It's about the ability to kind of have that wisdom when people call on you, when they lean on you, so that you can have, you can sort of help them with that, with whatever it is that they're looking to you to solve. So I found that really interesting, and it makes complete sense, right? That I have this gate of privacy where I need to take these experiences and everything I've learned in my youth so that I can get very, very clear on them, not only to communicate via my gate 56 in terms of my storytelling, but also that when somebody's looking at me to have like save the day, I'm just saying this in quotes because that is really what the line 5 energy is all about, that I'm able then to step in and be able to help people. My gate 33, which is all about the gate of privacy and about going within and kind of retreating so that you can then almost like sit with your experiences. And often for some people, they'll reveal themselves through meditation, through writing, whatever that connection is to source that you have that enables that clarity to come through, right? That you can see that wisdom in everything that you're experiencing. Well, that is really interesting because that shows up in my earth. And earth is all about stability and grounding. And whenever anybody says to me, like, you know, I'm in a bit of a funk and I don't quite know what's going on and my energy is all over the place, I always look to their earth placement just to see what gate they've got in there. And, you know, because that will then tell me how to ground them. And that's very much what earth energy is. It's all about grounding you, right? Because when you ground yourself, your foundation is stable. When your foundation is stable, then your blessings, your experiences, your purpose, all of those things can come into fruition. So for me, for the earth, for my stability, it's my gate 33, which is all about my privacy, the privacy, and being able to go within so I can make sense of everything that's been going on in my world. But I express it through my line 4, which is my people person. And it is so true So when I am have had my life experience, or having my life experience, haven't had them hopefully all yet, but when I have my life experiences and I'm able to integrate them and understand them, when I am ready, I'm then able to share them with my people. And it's that sharing and that talking and that communicating is what grounds me. And I have to say, these videos are part of that. I feel so grounded, so connected when I'm creating content like this. The only thing I'm missing is you guys like being here with me and having a two-way conversation, which is why I'm so like, put it in the comments, because projector, I need that. But also because it's my line for wanting to express it. And then lastly, I love this one. So gate 31 is one of my favorite gates, and it is because of the democratic leadership, because for me, teams and being part of a team and being a community is such a big part of who I am. And it expresses itself firstly in Mars again, which is quite interesting. So it's all about my youth experiences, but it's my soul design. So when I spoke about my gate 56 being in my Mars, that was in my personality, right? That was my what you see today kind of area. But this gate 31, is expressed in my youth and my soul design, and it's expressed in my line 2. So what that means is that the principles of my influential energy, I needed to be able to take the experiences and the stories from my gate 56 within my youth. I then needed to be able to bring them back to myself and almost be like a hermit and hone those natural gifts from those experiences. And I can tell you now, looking back at my career, with the amount of teams that I was part of, that I had the pleasure of leading, all of those areas taught me so much. But I needed the line 2 within my youth to be able to balance it so that I could integrate it and develop it as a natural gift, which is what now shows up much later on in my life. So you can see, I hope, how the gifts within my throat center are showing up every single day, how perfectly connected they are. And I think that's what blows my mind every single time. It's how perfectly connected our gifts are, how we have everything we need within our design to be able to fulfill our life purpose and to be the person that shines brightly in this world, and not only for ourselves, but to play a part in this world and helping it to evolve and move it forward. So if you're interested, just let me know. You can also book a personal reading on the website as well. It does take me a few hours to go through all of the charts and create the videos and everything, but if you're interested, please let me know, and I'm very happy, and I would literally look at all of the different gifts within your centers. So yeah, that's just to let you know that's there. Now, the fun bit, I thought that an extra bit of fun here. So we're currently in the month of February 2024, in case you're watching this in 5 years' time. And within human design, they have what we call like a human design calendar. And this is also similar to astrology, where they will look at the month and they can tell you the types of energies that are coming into the month. They can tell you, the moon cycles. Oh my gosh, so much stuff, right? But we're not going to go there. We're not going to go there just yet. So what I wanted to do was look at this through the calendar of February. So what I'm going to do is just very quickly share something with you. So let me quickly share one more time, and you will hopefully see what I'm going to share. So this is February's calendar, and you will see all the way through from the 1st. So this is the 1st of February through to the 29th. So it runs across like this. And then you'll see here that this is the sun, right? This is the purpose of the month. And there's a little number next to it. Now that's gate 19. And this number here is the energy in which you express it, right? So that's a line 6 profile. But we're not going to overcomplicate this today. What we're going to do is have a look at these gates. So you can see in February, we had gate 19 energy moving into gate 13 energy. You can see that then changed into gate 49 energy, which moved into gate 30 energy, And then you can see that running all the way through. And then tomorrow, because tomorrow's the 20th of February, it changes to gate 55 energy. And then on the 25th, that's right, gate 37 energy, right? Now, the reason I wanted to share this with you is because it's just a really nice way of being able to see that the gates have so much more meaning. And I just really briefly wanted to explain this to you. So if you remember at the beginning of February, we had gate 19 energy. And I will say this, have spent this month so far journaling every single day because I wanted to experiment with those gates and, you know, the day-to-day energy and the influence it had on me. And gate 19 for me is defined in my chart. I have the gift of gate 19, and it's also my purpose for my conscious sun. So my personality design, right? It is what I am here to express. And I will say this, as soon as my birthday finished at the end of January and I moved into gate 19 in February, I felt it. Gate 19 is the gate of wanting, and it's about sensing other people's needs. But it also creates this pressure to want to interact, to want to help people, to want to do things for people, whether you're asked or not. And I had this completely overwhelm me. I was like, oh my gosh, you know, all this stuff, and I need to do it, and I want to help people, and I want to give them resources, and, you know, who needs support? And I felt it really, really, really heavily. And it was hilarious because as gate 19 shifted out, I calmed right back down. So I remember journaling through that, and I'm so glad that I did, because now that it's the 19th, I'm looking back going, oh, it wasn't so bad. But when I look back at my journal, what I was writing, I was like, oh, yes, it was. And it's not that it's bad. I shouldn't use that word. It's just that there was a heavy influence of that gate in terms of my energy. I could really feel it. And it's because I have gate 19 within my design. Gate 19 then moved into gate 13, which is the gate of the listener. And this was all about being present and about other people's secrets. So I don't have gate 13 defined in my chart, but that doesn't mean to say I won't experience it in some way, because I will feel that energy from other people. So if I'm around anybody who has a gate 13 defined, I will feel it. And actually, gate 13 is very much around being present. It's around listening, like really present, listening, allowing people, giving them space to share, right? And I did notice that as I was going through the days that had gate 13 associated with it, more and more people started to pop up just to say something, to share something, a story. I mean, people do that generally for me anyway. So hello, gate 56 and everything else I have in my chart. But really, it was quite interesting, but it was a subtle. I didn't feel it as strongly as I did my gate 19. Gate 49, which gate 13 then moved into, is the gate of principles. And I often call this a humanitarian gate, because this gate is very much around helping humanity operate as one to be able to solve the big problems in the world. But it's also about balancing your values and your desires that you have in order to make those shifts. So it makes quite a lot of sense. So if you think about how so far how the energy has flowed through in February, we've gone from sensing other people's needs in the gate 19 through to them being really present. So you're sensing something, you can feel that people need some support with something. And then that's transitioning into this beautiful gate that's allowing us to be present so that we can listen to people, right? Listen to their stories, listen what's going on with them, which then enables us to kind of feel like the need to move, to react, do something, right? To create this oneness. And then that moves into gate 30, which is all about feeling deeply. It's the gate of feelings. So it's all about feeling deeply. So now we've got this energy, which we're in at the moment, which can be quite intense in terms of emotions. So if you have gate 30 defined, it's likely that you may have felt this very heightened sense of emotions around you. Maybe you're feeling it from other people, feeling it from yourself. It's also, gate 30 can also be experienced as like an adrenaline junkie. So if you're needing to go and parachute out of a plane, it's your gate 30 that's pretty active at the moment. But if we look at kind of now the pattern, you've got this sensing of other people's needs, then taking that information and being present and listening, to then wanting to act on it and kind of have this change the world energy and be able to really make an impact, right? To then feeling this very, very deeply in the sense that wanting us to integrate it so that we actually then move and do something. And then it's going to move into gate 55, which is all about spirit. And it's all about understanding our connection to source and having the faith that all the things that you are required to do the things you want to do will be provided to you at the right time. And then finally, we'll then end in gate 37, which is all about the gate of friendship. And it's about fostering togetherness. So February has been an absolutely fascinating month. And if you have felt any of these energies, let me know. But you can see that the theme of February has been very much around surrounding ourselves with love, with friendship, being present for the people that we love, for the people that we know, being able to kind of move to change and do something, and then understanding that that change will come at the right time, and that the resources to make that change happen will be given to us at the right time as well. So I hope that helps. I mean, it was really fascinating. And when I wanted to do this video this evening, actually, I was been thinking about doing the gates all day. And I was like, well, I'm going to talk about my throat. And then I thought you might find this bit quite interesting, because the gates for us tells us so much. And it will depend on the lens to which we apply. So you can also take the gates and apply it through a very interesting business lens. Obviously, depending where the gates are situated in your chart will also give it a different flavor. And then depending on what profile line is associated with it will also depend how you express it. So you and somebody you know can have the exact same gate, but you may have a different profile line associated with it. Therefore, you'll express it differently. So I hope this helps. Please let me know if you've got any questions. And as I said, if you'd like to a reading or anything like that, you can book that on my site. And we can go through all of this on, via your charts. You are welcome to do some research around what each of the gates might mean. But obviously with a reading, it enables us to kind of form that picture of you. And that's the magic of having a one-to-one reading. But yeah, so let me know. And I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you have watched it, please hit subscribe, because it really does mean the world to me. Take care, everybody, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.